The Kop, the heartbeat of Liverpool FC, started as a steep standing terrace at Anfield named after a battle in the Boer War. It changed throughout the years to become one of football's most recognizable stands, known for their spine-tingling rendition of "You'll Never Walk Alone." The Kop doesn't just support the team, it lifts them. Big games have an electrifying atmosphere, and it's frequently claimed that the Kop can suck the ball into the net when they're in full shout. From England, we move to Spain, where passion takes on a different yet equally intense form. Real Madrid's Ultras Sur are tough, loud, and famed. Founded in 1980, they've often made headlines for their political stances and controversies, but in the stadium, their chants and tifo displays can take over the Santiago Bernabeu. They're known for intense loyalty, even organizing mass away day travel across Europe during Champions League campaigns. They even organize extensive away day trips around Europe during Champions League campaigns, proving their well-known dedication. Heading north to Germany, we find a wall that doesn't need bricks to be intimidating. Borussia Dortmund's Yellow Wall is a human force of nature. The Sud Tribune, the largest terrace in Europe, holds 25,000 standing fans. This passionate and deeply emotional fan base is deeply embedded in Dortmund's working-class population. On game day, the wall transforms into a sea of black and yellow, moving and sounding in unison. Their famous full stadium choreography and thunderous support are unmatched in Germany. But if it's raw fire and noise you're after, Turkey is in a league of its own. Galatasaray's fans, especially those at the Ali Sami Yen, now Nef Stadium, have built a reputation for chaos and intimidation. Founded on fierce club loyalty and national pride, these fans are known for the phrase "Welcome to Hell," which they chant to visiting teams. Flares, banners, and ear-splitting noise turn home matches into psychological warfare. Across the Atlantic in South America, passion spills out of every crack in the stadium. The Boca Juniors fan base, known as La Doce, the 12th man, are the living soul of Buenos Aires football. Their identity, which has been shaped by decades of competition with River Plate, is rooted in the working class and immigrant communities of La Boca. Bombonera rocks, literally, when La Doce gets going, jumping in unison and singing with relentless passion. And in Scotland, the combination of politics, heritage, and an unwavering spirit produces something just as captivating. Celtic supporters, particularly those in the Green Brigade, blend politics, pride, and unwavering devotion. Although the Green Brigade was founded in 2006, their fan culture is considerably older and is associated with working-class identity and Irish ancestry. Their full-stand displays at Celtic Park, especially during European nights, are legendary. They famously earned UEFA's respect for their performance against Barcelona in 2012. Traveling east, the Balkan fervor adds a layer of history and nationalism. Red Star Belgrade's Delige are among Europe's most feared ultras. Formed in 1989, their passion is steeped in Serbian nationalism and historical pride. They once unveiled a tifo the size of a small city block and are famous for igniting flares that fill the stadium with smoke. Their derbies with Partizan's Grabari are some of the most volatile in world football. Further south in Italy, football becomes religion. Napoli's Curva B reflects the fire of the South. They worship Diego Maradona like a saint, and their loyalty runs deeper than sport. It's about city pride. Maradona once said Naples gave him more love than he could return. Today, the Curva sings for him every match. Pyro shows and choreographies are common, but so is the raw emotion of grief or joy poured out in song. Meanwhile, in the US, fans are putting their own unique spin on supporter culture. The Timbers Army of Portland Timbers in MLS offers a unique American spin on ultra culture. Founded in 2001, they mix European-style chanting with a distinctly Portland creativity. Their most famous act? Cutting a slab from a log with a chainsaw every time the team scores, symbolizing blue-collar grit. In England, few places resonate like the home of Manchester United. Manchester United's Stretford End has long been the vocal core of Old Trafford. During the Busby Babes and Ferguson eras, the club grew and transformed into a shrine as its popularity increased. Known for their biting chants and banners like 20 times to taunt rivals, they uphold the club's global dominance with local energy. Then we circle back to Turkey for another cauldron of loyalty and defiance. Fenerbahçe's Genç FB are politically active and fiercely passionate. Turkish fan culture is heavily tied to identity, and Genç FB embodies that in Kadıköy. Flares, chants that go on for 90 minutes, and choreographed hostility toward rival Galatasaray turned derbies into a battlefield. Spain has another gem, this time with a background in resistance. Sevilla's Biris Norte started in 1975 and are among Spain's oldest ultras. They were born in resistance to Franco-era repression and have remained politically vocal. The Sanchez Pizjuan roars with them, especially when the team plays in European competition. Their performance of the club hymn is exquisite and eerie. Staying in Italy, we find another set of ultras with a complex and controversial past. Lazio's Irriducibili were notorious and controversial. Founded in 1987, they were central to Lazio's ultra culture until their disbandment in 2020. They were famous for choreographies that sometimes crossed lines, but in pure fan terms, they created one of the loudest curva nords in Italy. Across the Mediterranean, North Africa boasts some of the most socially engaged fans. Raja Casablanca fans, particularly the Ultras Green Boys, have elevated the Moroccan football atmosphere to world-class levels. Their chants often include messages of social justice, and their displays have gone viral worldwide. Their support transcends the club and reflects a kind of urban rebellion. France offers a wildly contrasting mix of street culture and football. Olympique de Marseille's Commando, Ultra 84, and South Winners are the essence of Velodrome's chaos. Marseille is a city of contrast, and its fan base reflects that. Rebellious, mixed, loud, and intensely proud. They fight with rivals, particularly PSG, light flares, and sing non-stop. Mexico's capital city has its own football powerhouse with a following to match. Club America's Ritual del Caoz is fierce, organized, and rowdy. They represent the pride of Mexico City's massive fan culture and fill the Estadio Azteca with thunderous noise. Known for enormous banners and relentless singing, their loyalty is rivaled only by their hatred for Chivas. Back in England, working-class pride finds expression in defiance. Millwall's fans are notorious for their chant, "No one likes us, we don't care." The fan community, which has its roots in working-class South London, has grown by tenacity and camaraderie. They were once feared across England, and although modern security has calmed things, their identity as proud outcasts remains. Over in Argentina, Messi's roots tell a story of community pride. Newell's Old Boys fans, especially La Hinchada Más Popular, hold Rosario down with pride. This is Messi's boyhood club, and the fans worship their local heroes. Their classic rivalry with Rosario Central ignites the city with flares, flags, and drum-led marches through the streets. Germany again, but this time with a political message. St. Pauli's fans are unique. They have transformed a second division German team into a cult phenomenon because they are politically leftist, anti-fascist, and worldwide connected. The skull and crossbones flag, the punk rock aesthetic, and their stand on social issues define a fan base unlike any other. Now to Turin, where discipline and order dominate the scene. Juventus's Curva Sud was long ruled by the Drughi Ultras, who built a legacy of dominance and disciplined support. Though sometimes criticized for being less vocal than southern Italian clubs, their tifo displays and away day mobilization are elite. Heading north again, Scandinavia enters the conversation. AIK Stockholm's Black Army has made headlines for turning Friends Arena into a Nordic cauldron. They use coordinated tifo, chanting, and smoke to make it one of Scandinavia's best atmospheres. Their derbies against Djurgården are powder kegs. Barcelona's past includes a fan base once feared and controversial. Barcelona's Buenos Noi were once the kings of Camp Nou's atmosphere. Though the club distanced itself from them due to violence and political extremism, their legacy in ultra culture remains. Even though there are more tourists on match days these days, memories of those intense times are still present. In Amsterdam, tradition meets ferocity. Ajax's F-side brings hardcore energy to Amsterdam Arena. Inspired by 80s English hooliganism, they fused that with Dutch flair. The crowd choreography and aggressive singing make the Johan Cruyff Arena intimidating when they're in full swing. Brazil returns to the spotlight with one of its most musical and intense fan groups. Palmeiras' Mancha Verde is one of Brazil's most passionate torcidas organizadas. Born in 1983, they combine samba rhythm with hardcore football culture. Both in the stands and on the streets, their rivalry with Corinthians is fierce. The tradition of football in Egypt is closely linked to resistance. Al Ahly's Ultras Ahly shook Egyptian football when they formed in 2007. Known for their role in political uprisings and organizing mass displays, they dominate Cairo with pyrotechnics and synchronized chants. Their feud with Zamalek's White Knights is Egypt's fiercest. In Paris, new energy revives old traditions. PSG's Collectif Ultras Paris brought the fire back to the Parc des Princes after years of sanitized fan experience. Reformed in 2016, they brought back noise, color, and identity. Their affection for the club's history and hate of Marseille frequently conflict with its current superstar image. These fan bases are more than cheerleaders. They're cultural institutions, political voices, and emotional lifelines. Whether roaring from ancient terraces or choreographing digital age typhos, soccer fans are the game's truest heartbeat.